All right, so look, first, let me start by saying you are listening to Eagles Talk, and we are about to begin our second quarter right here. So, and in customary fashion, we do shots. So it's time for second quarter shots. I am not partaking in alcoholic beverages right now because I have something to do. So I'm just doing a shot of my coffee, and Pat is going to continue our tradition by doing a shot of peach cobbler hooch. Corn liquor. It's not even a brand. I can't, I'm using this segment to kind of to attract some sponsorship, and he won't even use a real, legitimate brand.
When somebody gives you some stuff,
I always come with the stuff that I can proudly, this is Remy Martin. This is I can't say this is Jimbo from South Carolina, peach cobbler hooch. I can't do it. So all right, here we go.
I would probably have some next week for you.
Okay, here we go. Second quarter shots. Let's count it down, Ray. This is the way you do it, right? 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so there it is. Second quarter shots are out of the way, and our second quarter topic is we started this last week, and we're going to continue this week. We're talking about the position battles, potential position battles coming up in this offseason. And last week we talked about tight ends and running backs, I believe. And this week we're going to talk about the wide receivers and the quarterbacks. So, Pat, kick us off. What do you see at the running back position? And
we talked about running back
too. Let me see. Oh, Troy.
Okay, yeah, we talked about the running backs last week, and we're going to continue this tradition talk about the position battles this week. And like you just said, this week is about the receivers and the quarterbacks. And the first one I want to head off are the receivers. So on the roster as it stands right now, it's 90 players. We have, of course, Alshon Jeffrey, Mac Hollins, Sheldon Gibson, Bryce Treggs, Marquise Wilson, Greg Ward, Nelson Aguilar, Mike Wallace, Marcus Wheaton, Anthony, I'm not going to pronounce his last name, and Tim Wilson. So we have some players at the position, but what I see is maybe a 5 to 6 roster battle. Well, not roster battle, I should say, but I think we're going to carry about maybe 5 receivers. It wouldn't shock me if we carried 6, but the 5 would be, of course, Alshon Jeffrey, Nelson Aguilar, Mike Wallace, Mac Hollins, and the 5th one would be I believe it's Sheldon Gibson, because he played some special teams and he brought some value to that special team unit last year. It gave him so much value that he was able to overtake Marcus Johnson as that last receiver to be active on game days, because he brought that value to the extra special teams. With that being said, you still have some positions. You still maybe have that 6th position that could be fought for between Bryce Treggs and Greg Ward, Greg Ward is a second-year player. Bryce Treggs is a third-year player. Greg Ward is a converted quarterback from the University of Houston who actually showed some promise last year during the preseason by basically catching everything that was thrown his way. Bryce Treggs is, of course, the only thing we know him for is his speed. That's it. But you also have the rookie Tim Wilson, who just made who came through as a practice, as a tryout, and they actually liked what they saw at the tryout, and they brought him onto the 90-man roster, and they released one undrafted free agents they actually paid money for. And another rookie from Purdue, Anthony, I can't pronounce his last name, who's the tallest receiver on the board next to Marcus Wilson at 6'3". It's going to be very intrigued. It's going to be a very good position battle at the 6th spot when it comes to the receivers, because I believe if they do go with the 6th receiver, it's going to be between Greg Ward and Bryce Treggs. And what can you do for the special teams to keep you on this team?
All right. Well, so what about, you didn't mention anything about Wheaton. You don't think Wheaton makes it? Because Corey Robertson, his 5 or his wide receiver that makes the teams are Gibson, Wallace, Alshon, Nelson, Hollins, Wheaton.
I thought I just said that. I thought I said it's Alshon Jeffrey, Nelson Aguilar, Mac Hollins.
You said Gibson. Yes,
Mike
yeah.
Wallace. I didn't say Wheaton. Truthfully, Wheaton only had a few catches last year with the Bears. I think they brought him in there just to beef up that competition there, man. Because right now, you look at Bryce Treggs, he's just enjoying his life of doing nothing. And actually, somebody just said that. I just saw you put it up there. But he's enjoying his life of doing nothing and being on the NFL roster. Because you got to realize the Browns took him off our practice squad last year. He was active with the Browns and didn't do a single thing with the Browns. Then he came back to us and was put on a practice squad. And truthfully, he doesn't offer anything to me. He doesn't offer anything to this team. Greg Ward, he reminds me of what's the guy from the Randall L. He reminds me of Randall L.
Okay.
He's changed his position from quarterback, and he's explosive. He's very explosive, and he's a smaller guy. So I if I had to choose between Marcus Wheaton and Greg Ward, I mean, I would see whoever has the best preseason between those two to make the roster. Because I know Marcus Wheaton has that speed, but at the same time, he is a little bit longer too. He's been in the league for 6 years. Greg Ward is a younger version who can probably offer you more and more years at a solid price.
All right, let me go to a couple comments. Corey Robinson, we already got him. Christopher Burton, Treggs is a smaller D-Jax. Troy Savage, Treggs will not make the roster. He has no problem saying that. Deion Brown, I think Marcus Wheaton makes the roster. Treggs is out. Troy Savage again. Treggs and Wheaton will not make the squad. Bold prediction. Corey Robinson. Chris Burton. He said Chris Burton. That was a disrespectful statement to compare D-Jack to Treggs. So, all right. So,
speed, but he doesn't.
Can we agree? How many wide receivers did they carry last year? Was it 5 or 6?
They carry 6. All
right. So there's a couple people that are slam dunks that are going to be on this roster. All right, Alshon is going to be on this roster.
That's a slam dunk. Nelson.
Who?
Nelson Aguilar.
Well, Aguilar is going to be on this roster. Yes. Mike Wallace is going to be on this roster. Yes. I think Matt Collins is going to be on this roster. Those four, I think, definitely are up. I mean, solid picks to be on the roster for wide receivers. So really, you only have 2 open spots. And if I was betting my money, I would say that if Gibson shows the potential that they think he has, he makes it. And the last one would have to be between Wheaton and Treggs.
No, like I said, Ward. I'll put Ward. Ward runs better routes. He has better hands.
Yeah.
I know Treg's been in the league, but he doesn't. Like I say, he doesn't offer you anything. At his speed, he doesn't offer. It's nothing. There's nothing behind that. And you got to be able to offer an NFL team something besides saying I'm on the practice squad and dancing.
Yeah, and Corey says the question, Gibbs gets it over Wheaton. Yeah, if Gibson is if they're neck and neck, then Gibson's going to get the nod over Wheaton. You better believe it.
Of course.
Yeah, because he's their guy. He's younger and he's cheaper too right now.
Much cheaper because he's still on this rookie contract. So I mean, the thing about Gibson is explosive, but the problem that he had last year is that he couldn't catch the ball.
All right, yeah, that's true. I want to go back and acknowledge somebody who looked like they joined us, and that was Gilbert. Gilbert, what's up? Hello. I put your hello up there earlier. I just want to welcome you to the Eagles Talk show. So there you go, Gilbert. There's your acknowledgement. All right, Deion Brown says the team is high on Mac Hollins. Plus, he brings skill to the special teams aspect. Yeah, he can, and they are very high on people that are versatile. So Mac Hollins fits that role there. Also, and I said this before. I thought Mac Hollins had a legitimate shot to be wide receiver number 2, with his potential and what he did last year, and coupled with the fact that they did hire his college wide receivers coach as the wide receivers coach. So I thought that he had a leg up until that Mike Wallace signing kind of changed it a little bit for me. So, but I still hold this opinion that if he shows his ass in the all season, that he can edge out, and he will edge out Mike Wallace. Yeah,
I like I said, Mike Wallace. Well, Mike Wallace was actually, brought in to replace Torrey Smith. So you have this guy that can take the top off of defense because he still can do that, and you open it up for everything under the middle for Zach Ertz, for Alshon Jeffrey, for Aguilar, for Dallas Goddard. I mean, you open up the middle when you have somebody that can take the top off of defense. And Matt Collins he can basically learn from it, and he can be a person who develops and becomes better because of it. At 6'4", he brings a lot to the table, and his toughness that he has, especially as a special teams player. But
I'm sorry, Corey makes a good point. We can't keep 5 running backs and 6 wide receivers.
No, we can't.
All right, so we may have the numbers off a little bit, but let me go to a couple more comments.
This is way before training camp.
Yeah. Ryan asks what quarter. We're going to save that for the fourth quarter, Ryan. Gilbert, do you think there will be a drop off in play calling because of Frank Reich and DeFilippo left? No, I think the play calling is going to stay creative and daring at the most, because our head coach is the head of that department, and that's just his personality. That aggressiveness is his personality. The creativeness, maybe, I don't know how much of an input Reich and DeFilippo had in designing plays, but I think we'll be all right. I think that Bro is a dynamic young coach, and I think he's going to bring a lot of innovation and creativeness to the position that he has now. And like I said, our head coach is the orchestrator of being aggressive and stuff like that. So I don't think there's going to be a drop off. Anyway, Danny Boy knows when Marcus was with the Steelers, he made the tough catches, but would drop the easy ones. He worked his way off their squad. It comes down to who is going to make plays on special teams. Marcus won't make it out of the preseason, and that's okay, because we didn't give him a lot. Troy Savage, I'm going to make this very short. Do you guys think they will bring in Dez and kick the tires? No. Okay, next. Kyle Smash. Hollins is a sleeper. I agree with that. Ray Sowers, Mac, and Clemente. I love these guys. Josh, do you think Darby and Mills stay on the team past trade deadline? We're not on the cornerbacks, so we're going to save that for next week to really delve into that position. We didn't talk about the quarterbacks. I guess it's not much to talk about.
Yeah, I was going to go into it for a second.
The pecking order there is quite obvious. It's Carson Wentz.
Oh, we got some competition, man. We got Nate Sudfeld and Joe Callahan. We picked up Joe Callahan from the Packers, so he might be in there.
Okay. Oh, Corey is clarifying what he said. He wasn't saying that to be negative. He's just saying that it's going to be interesting in narrowing those two positions down. All right, I got you, Corey. Deion Brown, the running backs for me will be Ajayi, Clemens, Sproles, Josh Adams. Yeah, we're going to get to the running backs. So we are 10 seconds away from starting the third quarter.
But who's going to be our quarterbacks, though? I don't know.
All right, talk about it. Joanna, hey, girl, I see you. All right, that's halftime right there.
Still need to talk about the quarterbacks.
Yeah, really no need. We know what
they're just camp arms. Yeah.
With the third string, and I think there's no competition there either, because I think these guys are very high on Sudfeld, and so much so that if something came along that just blew the socks off, they would move Foles and be comfortable with Sudfeld holding it down for a week or two. Because at that point, if Sudfeld has to start the season, now I want to see Wentz a little quick. If Sudfeld is holding it down, I might only want Wentz to take 2 weeks off. All right, so this halftime now.